Okay, so let's just get a basic collar and elbow setup, other side forward. Okay, so I'm gonna be here. We've got jackets, we can grab those jackets, that's what they're for. You can also do things like hook here, but I could grab a hunk of material too, to pull there too. Just keep doing that, don't make it easier. So we're here. Now, you can grab by the jacket, as I said, but what I wanna do in the exercise is actually not grab by the jacket. So square up just a little, okay? So I wanna use pressures and relatively open hands for these drills right here, just because that's gonna help us focus on the mechanics, and we're not gonna sort of recruit extra things as we grip here and tense up and all that, okay? Now, when I'm actually wrestling, I'm gonna be grabbing and, you know, all kinds of things like that, but here I just wanna focus on the pure mechanics, okay? So from this position here, in order to throw Tyler, okay, start resisting a little bit, just a little bit there. I can't just kind of like push at him like that because he can brace himself. I've got to break his structure, so resist a little bit, okay? So I'll break his structure by, and now just an easy demonstration form, okay? By pushing this in here, go ahead and set back up, pushing that one around there, and accompanying them with a hip drop so I can recruit a little bit of weight, and a hip turn so I can apply strength through there. So just enough resistance so that I can feel you're not going to instantly fold, but not so much that it's a real fight, because it's an exercise. So I'm right here, okay, feeling that. I start these motions, drop my hips, begin the turn, and he just moves around into the fall right there, okay? So my partner is giving me enough resistance so that I can apply and feel the application of my technique, and so that I can feel as I recruit the various muscles that are important to it, where that's coming in, but not so much that it's a fight, okay? So again, right here, first motion is I'm starting to break this by pushing it strongly in and down towards the center again, okay? This one is being pushed out and around like that, and my hips are turning for that. Everything together, and there I am, okay? Let's set it up on the other side so we can go here. Okay. So, again, this is coming into the center, this is pushing out and around. If I'm just static like this, around is kind of hard, but remember, you're turning as you do this. Okay, right there. All right, let's go ahead. Okay, so, we're in position, okay, and he starts to break my structure and starts to turn on that. Feeling that, I start to move into it and move around, okay? Again, a little less compliant, so I have to work for it, okay? Starts to break me, and I turn it back into him, okay? Now, this is an exercise at redirecting force. It may not turn out just this way when you're fighting, but if you were in a gripping situation and stuff was going on, and he's moving you around right there, and he gets a turn on you like that, you might be able to take advantage of it. Okay, one more time, less compliant on the fall, please. Less compliant on the fall. So again, you're in a situation, he starts to break you, and you think, oh my gosh, where can I go with this? Well, there's an avenue right there, okay? So the exercise we're doing helps to get used to that basic mechanic, even though we're not stepping through for a throw. Okay. So again, he starts. My structure's starting to break. I'm going to reset it, turn the force back into him. Okay? All right.
Okay, so we're not.
Okay. So just a related exercise to all of this. We're in position here, and we've been doing the collar elbow turn and all that. I can also break his structure by getting a hunk of jacket and moving forward like that. Okay. Yeah, a little less compliant. A little less compliant, thank you. Okay. So that I can grab and move back. So get the grab, move back, and now I've broken his structure right here. Okay, forward like that. So we'll want to do that one too. So we're right here. I'm going to come around and get a hunk of sleeve here, which is what these jackets are so great for, because medieval wrestling was jacket wrestling to a large extent. Okay, I'm going to grab that, move back, and drop my weight. Okay, so we're here, move back, drop my weight. Okay. Thank you. Forward. Okay. Running? Okay. All right. So just an addendum to the jacket piece, just a couple of things to mention here. I am grabbing and sinking, as I believe I mentioned before, but I am also, as I do this, pushing off that front foot as I drop my weight and coming to a landing spot. And he is going to work to maintain his structure as best he can in the exercise. My goal is to break it, but the reality is when you're wrestling somebody, they don't just break too easily. They try to maintain their position. So as I do this and pull him back, he's going to be moving in a little bit with it, okay? Go ahead, let's do it this side. You pull me in, okay? So as he does this, I am trying to maintain a position where I might still be able to do something here. He's got the advantage of me, but I'm not done yet, okay? For example, there's a lovely leg pick right now. Okay, so just remember that you're trying to maintain structure in exercises. Your partner's trying to break it. You're being compliant, but at the same time, you don't just want to be a rag doll for them. Okay, that has its place at a very, 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 very basic level. But at a certain point, you need to put a little resistance into it, consistent with the exercise and the goal of the exercise. And also try to, maintain your position. Again, consistent with the end goal of the exercise. Okay. So, previously we were doing the collar and elbow throw that went that direction right there. People resist, they don't like to be thrown, okay? So I start this and I get immediate resistance right here. He's pushing back. Trying to fight for this makes no sense at all. But what I can do is move through this way and throw him, okay? Let's do it from the other side. Okay. So we're right here, we're wrestling. The collar and elbow exercise is a stand-in for the wrestling at the moment. Okay, we start this, I get resistance, okay? Fighting that is ridiculous. I'm just gonna go right up here. Notice that I am keeping contact on his arm, okay? I'm not reaching for it, okay? I'm sliding up here, using that bridge that he's giving me to cross over, come through, start to break his structure, and then take his leg out. Smooth execution of it. So, I start, he gives resistance, I turn, notice that I have not stepped yet, because I don't have him broken. Now his structure's starting to break, I can move through. Okay. One last time. So we're right here. Right there. Just to this point right here, throwing him back like that. So he's providing enough resistance so that I have to work the exercise, not so much that it's a fight, and certainly not so much that I actually have to hurt him to accomplish my goal, okay? All right, brief addendum to this, and let's get you a little closer because you're gonna fall that way. Okay, you're going? All right. So one brief addendum to this. This is a forms exercise. We do use it in the Abrazare and in the dagger work. But for the forms exercise, as you come through, I want you to not worry about the fact that he's behind you. I want you to stand there and take the applause, okay? Because this is getting you to a nice solid structural position. We'll work on following people to the ground in more specific contexts than this, all right? But I just want this nice solid position right here, okay? Thank you. Okay. All right. That's my decision. Are we running? Okay. So we're going to be doing now the basic Abrazare plays, and we're doing them, again, in an exercise form. We're not actually getting in there and grappling and trying to find the plays. We're doing them as exercises, okay? So with that in mind, let's look at where we're starting here. So if we are entering, and we are going to have an entry for each of these plays here, if we are entering, there's a reason I'm coming in. So if we're doing that first play of Abrazare, I'm not just walking up like this so that he can do the play. I'm looking for something, and what I'm likely looking for here as I move in is an opportunity to grapple, okay? So maybe by coming in, grabbing belt or jacket, or coming in and getting some hip, something I can do to take him off balance. I'm making an attack here. So our attack is going to be, let's move you, let's go on this diagonal. This diagonal. Let's come over here, because I'm going to break. Okay. All right, so we're just going to start off by practicing a basic attack here. I'm going to come in. I am leading with my hand on this side, coming in. This one is also going to come in low. I'm going to get him unbalanced here, move in, and I'm just going to go ahead and pull. I'm going to reset my foot in that a little bit. Okay, so I'm moving in right here, and as I come in, I didn't quite get the foot where I wanted. I'm going to do just the foot. So my hands are doing all those things. I'm coming in here, right up against him here. So there's a little bit of a foot trap, so that as he gets torqued that way, it's momentarily at least hard for him to move his foot. Okay. Now, be kind to your partner's ankles. Okay. Don't step on their foot, although that would be a perfectly valid thing to do. Just move in smoothly and easily. They're going to let you get the grapple here. You're either getting a hunk of this or you're getting just back on the hip like that. Get the grapple here and torque. Okay? And a little bit of a hip drop and turn, and you're sending in that direction there. Okay? So let's run a set of those. Okay, so just covering a point here in this exercise. The way we're setting this up, okay, are we in? The way we're setting this up is that I am entering with this long reach towards his forward side, and then I'm coming around to his back side here, so that we're starting in these kind of oppositely symmetrical, I'm going to figure that phrasing out, stances here, and I'm going to come through out of my stance to get here to these positions so that I can torque him around, okay? It's a convention. We're setting it up that way, all right? Depth of leg in there, you could potentially go fairly deep, but I want to keep it fairly shallow for right now to here, in part because this is a lot better for armored combat than it is for just pure wrestling right there. Because our leg harnesses could lock up, and that's, trust me, that really sucks when that happens. It really, really does. So coming in, if I'm a little bit shallow like that, I'm unlikely to lock up my leg harness against his if we're in that context. If we're totally not in that context, I might actually drive through a lot deeper than that, okay? So that's a possibility for us, but right now, and we'll explore that in a few plays down the road here, but right now I want to come in fairly shallow and just practice that basic piece right there. We do that one more time because frankly that stunk. Okay, so coming forward, getting this, there we go. Okay, let's go ahead again. Okay, we're going. So answering a couple of specific questions about timing. I am driving forward with, let's reverse it, sorry, we should. Okay, I am driving forward here, and like any weapon, like any situation, I need to get the weapon moving ahead, right? Because if I just step in like this, he's gonna nail me, okay, somehow. So I'm coming forward this way, and I am driving this forward so that as I reach it, whether I've got a good grip or just a push, I'm able to drive it with my body. Now, let's flip to the other side because then you can see this, okay? So I'm coming forward, I'm driving with my body in here because I'm covering the measure. At the point where my foot lands, I want to have this hip too. Those are going to be similar, you know, closely timed like that, okay? Because I don't want to get to here and then go searching for this hip because he's not actually going to be standing there letting me do this. Lots of stuff is going to be going on. So I'm trying to get a nice smooth transition in there so that I can get that movement. And it starts with, let's look for a point we can start to destabilize. Let's put some force behind it, which is my body entering with this turn. Okay, so now I've got him a little bit off. Let's go ahead and isolate a couple of things so we have a nice thing we can turn around, and he literally will not have a leg to stand on, okay, as he comes around. Okay. All right, let's go ahead. Okay, good. So just in case it wasn't clear, guys, just a second. Just in case it wasn't clear, I am bridging measure here, but I can't really be too far away for it. I'm gonna have to be in closer. This is too far away to try this. He's got way too much time to deal. We're gonna be in closer. We could actually be starting there, but I'm coming here, getting that, and coming through to this position, and of course simultaneously getting that grab. And because we're thinking of the armored context, we're not going quite so deep with it, because, look at this, okay? If I step through here deeply, this is gonna hook on something, or stands a really good chance of hooking on his leg harness. And again, that really is not good. Okay. So unarmored, we could do that. Unarmored, I might choose to step in more deeply. And as I said, a few plays down the road here, we'll be doing that. Okay. All right, let's pause. In case you come in really hard. So he's going for that, and he's going to try to break my structure here. All right. Okay. Now, naturally, I'm going to try to do something about this. Okay. So among the things I'm going to do are to stop these arms from completing their task. Okay. And I also seated measure a little bit, which allows me to get this foot out of a trap situation right here. Okay. So he comes in, and I'm stopping the arms from getting into place. This one that's low, okay, a logical place is just to go right there into the elbow, just boom. And you can even think of it in terms of, you can sort of use the broadside of a barn strategy. It's hitting in here, and you're going to seek out the elbow, okay? Right, because that's a good control point, okay? It's also going to keep that hand back. This one, let's switch to the other side because it's going to show much better. Let's change angle to this way. Okay. So he's coming in there, and actually let me get the grab up there. Okay. He's coming in there, he's trying to get a grab, maybe he's trying to hook my neck back there, you know, like that. That's also shown in the manuscript. I need that to not happen. So just moving, here he just got stretched out, even though he's technically got a grab here. Just moving helps with that. So he comes in, and I'm going to get control of this arm. I need to control his elbow, thank you, which is right there. So I'm not going to come here, like this, natural position for you. I'm not going to come right to the side, because at that point he can instantly bend it, like that. I need to come underneath it where it's harder for him to bend it. Okay? He can still get something in there, but remember, I'm going to be striking up into it. Probably not going to cause the elbow serious trauma or anything like that, but it's going to momentarily give me a position of advantage. Okay? So he comes in, and I'm here, I've caught that, I'm going to roll around, give myself a manual assist. Okay? Let's do it the other side. Just this way. So, okay. So he's coming in, I'm stopping him, rolling around, and I'm going to go ahead and give myself a manual assist in this one here. Okay. Start a little further back. Work a little harder attacking it, so I really got to stop it. And I'm trying to take advantage of his momentum. Remember, he's trying to impart momentum into me. That's what his attack is all about. Okay? So because of that, it doesn't make very much sense for me to stand still, even though he kind of gave it to me there. Don't give it to me. Okay? It doesn't make a lot of sense for me to stand still because now I'm absorbing all that. Okay, and trying to ground out again. Oh, nice one. Oh, sorry. It's fine. Okay, so instead, I'm going to dissipate some of that momentum, use it to stretch him out, and then I'm going to come around and complete my play there. Okay, pretty full explanation. You've all done this before, okay? Let's go ahead and give it some practice. All right, so Tyler, I'm gonna ask you as we come in, I'll make it possible as I'm getting this, I want your hand to slip a little bit free like it's coming down my chest like that. This is a situation that just popped up there. Randy was doing some repetitions and Lauren's arm just slipped right off and she just did what I'm about to do. Okay, right here, coming around, and no, not bent, but actually still,
sorry.
Yeah, actually still from here, coming around. So here, and you just pull your whole body back.
Oh, I see.
And she just grabbed that and kept on going right there. Okay, so now you see where we're going?
Yep.
Okay, all right. So right here, starting the play, starting around, that starts to get away. Yeah, of course. Go ahead and do that. It's kind of a variation on Fifth Master Dagger, but that's just fine. We're supposed to apply all these things. So she just instinctively threw that up there and she had Lauren in an armbar, which is great, just what you want to do. Okay, go ahead. Oh, actually, there's that because I was consistently on this.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so everybody else is practicing. We're just emphasizing one thing. We've set up the exercise so it's coming in like this. And he's going to come in the same way, but my footing is not. It doesn't change anything I do except that I might take a step out there.
That is very effective because
so it doesn't really fundamentally change anything.
right?
Then there was the point about arm turning. Let's go with this side. I'm going to do the standard footing for the exercise. It's coming here, it's coming around, and then it slipped off here, and we got into the strong key, which we'll be doing later in the day. It can happen. Okay, stuff like that will happen. As Fiore says, the wrestling holds all change. You're always seeking advantage, and you just have to be able to.
You did that. That's what just caught me so much by.
Filming. Go. Excellent. We were previously just doing the first master of Abrazare in the previous little bit of video, and to set up this next thing, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to kind of move in here. First 8 plays, and this is the one I want. Let me just get that pretty. No, just you stand still, and I'll move it. There we go. This play right here. So as we look at this play, he's poking him in that nerve cluster in the ear and giving him tremendous pain, as the manuscript says. So this poor fellow without the garter is going down. The interesting thing is that he's doing something. He's got a grip here, and he's got a grip on the arm right there. He has attempted something right there, okay? And we're going to practice what he's attempted, okay? And the fact that this guy counters what he's attempting doesn't bother me in the least, because everything has a counter if you do it in time, okay? All right, so so I'm coming in for the grab on this one, and he's going to be doing the play. So again, just to refresh, I'm attempting to get something that's going to allow me to disbalance him. He's going to not let that happen, okay? So right there, so he's coming around and getting me through there, okay? Don't land on your hand, okay? And I ought to be prepared for that. So as I come in and he starts to apply his counter to this, I'm going to apply mine, okay? And we're deriving this counter from what is seen in there, okay, which is now in slow-mo. Okay. So as I come in, I'm attempting to get my grip. Uh-oh, this is a bad plan to keep continuing with this, okay? So I am going to move in, and I'm going to ground this against him, and I'm going to deny him that elbow control. Lock it down, I don't care. Okay. All right, he can lock it down as much as he wants there. That's not going to bother me in the least for what I have in mind. Now, here, he was stopping me there, okay? So, and he's, moving in. I'm going to come around. Remember our grip breaking earlier in the day? I'm going to come around, and I'm going to get control here. And I now have 2 points of control. This one is going out that way, just like our collar and elbow exercises. And this one is coming down to the hip. And I'm going to put a volta in there and throw it. Okay. Nice smooth execution now. Not fast, just smooth. I'm coming in. Uh-oh. Change of plan. And there we go. Okay. Now, don't do what I'm about to do when he goes down. You still got contact. Okay. Don't do what I'm about to do, which is to bend over, because he can exploit this connection and throw and come on top. Okay? Which he did quite nicely.
Nice,
right.
yeah.
So, there's a connection. Even though I'm the one holding it, he can use it. So what I need to do is make sure that doesn't happen. As I come in, whoops, I anticipated. I come in and I go through this. I'm going to drop it to here, okay? I let his arm go because he was spinning out. Let's cut the velocity because I want to put you in the arm bar and I don't want to lock it out too hard. Okay. I'm coming in here, right there, okay? I can right here immediately move for control, and I just chose this because that's where it was, and I can move my knee up here. I can transfer control to the hand. I can drop on his head. I can drop on his ribs. There's a lot of stuff I can do in there. Okay? But it's going to start with me being balanced. Here. From here, I can do stuff. Okay? I'm relatively upright. I'm on a strong base. I can apply things. Once again, I can move that way. I can do arm bars, okay? I can even though he's that far, I can move sharply in to hit him in the ribs. All those things are possible. Okay, let's go ahead. I go
We're on.
through that all the time.
We're on.
Okay, so one thing I want to emphasize about this action here is what's happening with the arm that's up. We've got a lot of focus on this one too, because it's breaking a grip and coming around and getting a counter grip as we practiced earlier today. But this arm has got to roll. Can I pop you one in the chest?
Sure.
Okay, all right.
Maybe just miss the sternum.
Yeah, I'll miss the sternum because of the placement there.
Yeah.
As I'm coming through, I'm driving here. Now, you can be nicer to your training partners than that, okay? But I wanted to emphasize that, and you notice that it did actually rock him a little bit, okay? So in doing this action, it's not just me coming in and getting a hold here, right there. The hold's important, okay? But what's more important is breaking him a little bit, okay? So I'm coming in, and this is my whole goal in the first place, is to break him and throw him, right? So I'm thinking that's like, okay? So that was mostly this. I didn't actually employ this all that much back there, okay? But that right there, popping into the chest, will give somebody a little bit of a jolt. So here's what you can do. So this time I'm not gonna jam it hard, I'm gonna place it, but I want you to just move back a little bit. Doesn't have to be a lot, okay? So I come in right here, there. So that was not hard at all, okay? But I want my partner to give a little reaction to it. A little reaction to it to simulate that. And by the way, if you come in and you meet a brick wall, you're not doing this technique anymore. You're gonna do something else. Okay. All right, go ahead. Because I have them dim the screen. So
We're on.
I understand, I was just thinking
Okay.
maybe they can see it.
Just real quick, make sure your base is not too wide. Okay, so this is wrestling. I'm not going to be launching myself from over here to try to get to something, okay? We're going to be closer in the wrestling situation. Maybe it arose out of a weapons situation and now we're there, and the weapons may or may not be tools for us at this point, but we're going to be closer. The way we're setting it up here is that I have this stance here, which is wide and strong and allows me to generate power, but not too wide so that I'm no longer mobile, okay? It's got to be somewhat narrower. Okay? So as I move in, I want to be able to get to, let me actually just go for the initial grab, okay? Because that's what's setting the measure for this one. As I move in, I need to be at a distance and take such a step that I can quickly get to a point where I can disbalance him, okay? And achieve this. So I've got to be sure of those things. If I'm way far back, okay, maybe the exercise will still work if I do this kind of thing, or something like that. But it's artificial. He should get me on that big entry. More likely, something has happened where we're, stuff's going on. Okay, we're seeking for advantage. Yeah, really go for it. Okay, that's not right. Okay, and then I'm looking for where I can go. Okay, that was slightly frantic on our part. Let's get a little more controlled. Okay, so we're moving in, and he's looking for a grip of some sort. Okay, and things like this are going on, okay? Like that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And out of that situation arises the various wrestling moves, okay? All right, let's go ahead again. So if I'm coming in to attack him, okay, and I'm, and he's supposed to be able to start applying this first play that we're doing so that I can get to the counter, several things have to happen. First of all, I need to be closer because we're too far apart. Okay, I need to actually move in and commit to this attack. Okay, what happens now, I want you to go ahead and apply the counter. Okay, and we're going to go kind of slow here. What happens if I don't commit to the attack is that he never really gets to his counter. He's never actually getting there, and I'm never feeling my action interrupted. That was actually even a little bit, I didn't anticipate enough. Okay, so if I'm doing this, where I'm already going for something that I don't know is happening, because I don't know it's happening, because he hasn't actually stopped my arm. Okay, then I'm anticipating in a big way. Also, I started an elbow drive before he even got this up, right there. Okay, I have got to reach, and we're going to do this 4 times, and one of those times you are not going to make any sort of counter whatsoever. So So that was not committed. Okay, so in my mind, I was going to not commit to them, right? And then he was going to go at them. And then you would be able to see this moment where I just wasn't committed. I got no grab there, I didn't do a good foot position, I didn't do anything up here, okay? So you have to actually commit to the action. Every time you go in, even if you're going slow, comfortable practice with your partner, it's got to be this. It's got to be this right here. And that applies, of course, to anything we practice. There has to be a level of commitment. And, you know, we all fall into the anticipation trap. I certainly do, okay? But every time I catch myself, I immediately correct myself. And so I want you to be aware of that and just immediately make the correction in that. Okay. Okay. All right, go ahead and cut. Tyler is attacking me, okay? He's making that initial attack and I'm making the counter and he's moving to the counter. Yeah, that's fine, okay. So, coming in, I'm going for this, he's moving for that, and I'm gonna go ahead and take him there, that was particularly graceless. Let's do this again. Okay, so let's actually do it this side because it'll show better. Okay, all right. So Tyler's attacking me, I'm going ahead and starting my action. He's doing the counter. Now this is too late, he's got me. As soon as I feel like you know, my first intention is not going well, I've got to find something else to do, okay? So, coming in, right there, it's not going well for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and move to another action, okay? So you remember we did our collar and elbow stuff earlier? Okay, and I'm trying to do this right here, and you resist it, and we just move through, okay? So this is an application of that, except that I'm substituting a leg grab for a leg-to-leg action. So he comes in, okay, I'm starting this, he's going around for that, and I'm gonna drop in here. I've broken his structure, and I'm gonna lift. And I'm gonna let my partner fall for right now. You know, I'm putting a little bit into that, but don't really invert them. Okay. All right, another one, because this leg got too far back on that. He comes in right here. I start this, I move in, okay, for the throw. I have to break his upper structure. That's actually the most important part. Okay, so he comes in right here, he starts that. If I just break his upper structure right here, then I'm in pretty good shape and I'm not doing a thing with this hand right now. There's a lot of stuff I can do from here, okay? I could even, in fact, just go through that way. But we're gonna take advantage of what's happening in the scenario because he's coming through right there. Okay, so now I've got this pressure right here. This is a point to attack. He's pulling my hand towards his hip, isn't he? I just slip it and come right here to the inside of his leg, okay? Because again, go ahead, I'm sorry, I'm right here. Okay. Like this, let's just emphasize this part. We just drop this entirely. Okay, so I did this, he countered it, he's pulling it that way, and I can slip it and drop down there. So one more time. And there we go. All right, so one key element here for this, I'm going to get you to an easy point, and then you choose. Okay, as you're working through this with your partner, let's not go for big throws all the time. Okay, I was anticipating a huge way, speaking of anticipation. Okay, so get here, lift the leg, have them bent back a little bit, and then he can go when he wants to, and let go. Okay, to start. And then when you're both more comfortable with each other, you can just gently apply the pressure through and actually throw them, though slowly. And if your partner is okay with it, toss it. Okay? But only if you've asked. Okay, which I did not ask you, thank you. Okay. Okay. Are we good? Okay. So just a couple things here. This is a complex drill. Each of you has an original intention, and then you have to do something else when that original intention is foiled by your partner here. And it's really easy to anticipate the action. And there you are both anticipating, and it becomes this mess, okay? So let's first demonstrate the mess, okay? So just start anticipating stuff, okay? So, okay, now we're no longer even remotely in this position, okay? I don't particularly like the grip on the back of my neck, but I have a lovely throat strike lined up. Okay, he's on the other hand got solid control of this and pressed against my body, but I got his knee. We're in a totally different position. We have to do different stuff at that point. In order to flow through this drill, and this drill is designed to get us able to move and respond to stimuli, we're gonna have to have some trigger points here. So he's coming in and I'm coming to these points. I have to get this right here, okay? I have to start this. As I feel that, the action I was trying to do is gone. So I felt his arm soften, I no longer have control. I feel I'm losing control of that arm. That's the moment that I flow to this and then come through, okay? So, you know, even when I do these things, I keep expecting, aren't there more steps? No, there really aren't. It's actually just fairly small number of steps, but it has to happen in relation to somebody else. So, nice and smooth. He comes in, I don't have that, I'm gonna have to do this. There we go, and I closed my eyes so I couldn't actually see what was going on, okay? I recommend only one of you close your eyes. Okay? So, preferably the defender, okay? So he comes in, closed my eyes, I'm looking for that, right there. I had a little anticipation in there, really attacked me, okay? There, that was a little bit better. I pulled off your throat because I felt like I dropped down too low.
That's right.
Okay. All right, so that one, as soon as he moved, I closed my eyes just so I could feel my way through. Now, let's do it slow, and I'll close my eyes. This is a way, my partner's gonna be complete in his actions, but really slow, okay? As soon as I see him move, I'm just going to close my eyes and I'm going to start feeling for those points. That's disappeared. He's pulling my hand down. I can move in, okay? All right, so feel for those points. Then the last thing I want to do is talk about the steps and the distance. Once again, if I get myself way stretched out, it's going to be really, really tough. Probably because I've been standing like this for 25 years. I can get a little wider than most people can, but I shouldn't really. Okay. I should be a little bit closer together. So, nice and smooth, medium speed. Okay, he's coming in, I'm starting for this. Okay, did you notice how I just did a little crescimento in there and got my base under me for that throw? They're your feet, you get to move them. Okay, so bring your feet in for the throw a little bit. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead.
Okay, we're on.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so just a last note about this. We have been doing a head turn. It's a good thing to do here because it breaks the structure in a nice way. So we'll just demonstrate that. Let's just get right to that. He comes in, I'm starting this, he goes through, and I'm to here, right? Okay, and I've got the head turn. Now, real slow, and I'm not actually gonna hit you. Okay. All right, so he comes in, we're starting right here. He goes through that, wham. Just a hard chop to the throat. You do not have a lot of room to generate velocity, but nobody's gonna like coming from here across to, and I'm gonna slap your chest instead, here, really sharply. My whole body just went into that. That's gonna be kind of a moment, okay, right there, which will also throw somebody. It won't break the structure the same way, but I would be surprised if anybody taking a hard one right across the Adam's apple did not break their structure a little bit, okay? So that's also a possibility in there, okay? All right, let's get these things away. Yeah, we can, stop that? Yeah.